and a group of kids having a rather lively discussion in a toiletry aisle. They're Keystone kids, I can tell, here to attend the Keystone Young Writers Conference, which starts today. One of the kids, a long-limbed boy in a squirrel t-shirt, nudges another boy, and they both look at me and whisper as I pass by. I don't have much in common with these Keystone kids anymore. Occasionally, one of them will have read a story of mine, and they'll tell me that. I read your story, you know, they'll say as if I should know which story they're talking about. But ever since Greta's novel, American Eunuch, came out, all they really want to talk to me about is her. Why did you leave her, they'll ask. She hangs out with Madonna, you know, they'll tell me. I've heard she writes in the nude, they'll say. When it comes to Greta, these kids can't get enough. If someone would have asked me 15 years ago which one of the Rosy Pink writers would end up being famous, I never would have picked Greta. She's not a bad writer, of course, just unfocused and a word speller, which made her a bit of an easy target for the rest of us. But Greta is famous now. She speaks at conferences, sits on panels, and has been interviewed by everyone from the Paris Review to Playboy. And then, shortly after American Eunuch came out, she was arrested for unlawful conduct and indecent exposure at the WTO riot in Seattle. Her face was plastered everywhere from that. The poster child of the gutsy female artist activist. The whole thing made Greta a literary goddess of sorts. American Eunuch is still on the bestsellers list. Hollywood is making it into a movie. And Greta's been on Oprah twice. Chances are, if you haven't already read American Eunuch, you will. Every bookstore seems to have its copies proudly displayed on that table next to the register. It's that book with the simple cover of a hand hanging a coat on the knob of a coat rack. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but I like it. I was standing in line waiting to buy from the mixed-up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler when I could see American Eunuch on the table up ahead, and there was something fascinating about that hand. It's a large hand, hairy and rough and red from work. A man's hand, cuticles ripped, fingernails ragged, nails dented bluish black as if they were caught in a door slamming shut. I don't shy away from work. I carry boxes into the store, change my own oil, clean gutters, paint shingles. Occasionally I'll lift an axe and chop wood. But my hands, I admit, they're rather pale and hairless. If I get a blister, I cover it with a Band-Aid. When I chop wood, I wear gloves. Janice keeps a bottle of moisturizer on the bathroom counter, and in the winter months, I often rub some of it onto my dry hands. But that day, in the bookstore, looking at that hand hanging that coat, I thought, fuck moisturizer. It's the sort of reaction you have when you get older and you realize it's probably too late for your hands to look any different than they already do. Then I looked up to see Greta grinning at me from the back of American Eunuch, her pale gray eyes bright like scissors, her black hair much shorter than when we were together. And she was smiling, that playful half smirk of hers, as if she could see me standing there looking at my hands and thought it hilarious. At the cash register, Dad is ringing up the truckers. Next to him, Floyd Trippy, our former river rafting guide turned local cop, and Joe Walker, our local dentist, are both perched on stools in front of the computers trying to find love on Match.com. Fellas, I say, how are the ladies today? They both shrug their shoulders. Floyd has been married and divorced 3 times, but Joe is never married and is taking his online prospects very seriously. Her eyes are too close together, Joe says of one woman. Floyd leans over to look. Nah, he says. She's Canadian. That's the way Canadian women look. This strikes me as hilarious for some reason. She's Canadian. Dad grabs a Rocky Mountain News and spreads it out on the counter. You feeling all right? He says. Fine, I say. You're laughing like a girl. So I am, I say, wiping my eyes. Dad looks down at the paper. I cleaned the bathroom, he tells me. She's never fully forgiven me for that time 32 years ago when she caught me in the tool shed behind her house with my penis in her niece's mouth. How can I help you today? I'll take a large coffee and a pint of my boy, she said. Got it? Sure thing, I say. Mrs. DeBrandon's boy is Irish whiskey. I wouldn't say she's a real drinker, but most people around here have some sort of routine that helps them get through the day. And for Mrs. DeBrandon, it's her morning Irish coffee. When I turned back around, there, placing a pink bottle of Nair on the counter, is the Keystone Kid in the squirrel t-shirt. "You're Miller Scott," he says. "That I am," I say. The kid smiles and looks around as if pleased with himself for some reason. I feel sorry for him, standing there in his big squirrel t-shirt, buying his bottle of Nair, spending his days trying to write stories that he hopes people will want to read. I remember. It's not easy to be a young writer. "You and Greta Carlson were," he trails off. "Yeah," I say. "Long time ago. But yeah, we were close." I know," he says, handing me a crumpled 10. "You're her eunuch." "What?" Dad looks up from the paper. Floyd and Joe swivel around on their stools. "You're the eunuch Greta based American Eunuch on." "I'm not a eunuch," I say. And I try to laugh, but the sound that escapes my throat is raw, like the cry of an animal caught in a trap. It's cool, the kid says, grabbing his Nair. "I get it. It's private and all. Just, it's great. It's a great story. If I were you, I'd be proud. I'd be damn proud." "But I'm not a eunuch," I say again, as the kid walks out. But he isn't listening. No one is. Dad is looking down at the paper. Mrs. DeBrandon is rummaging through her bag. Floyd and Joe have swiveled back around. I hand Mrs. DeBrandon her change, and she cracks open her whiskey and pours a healthy shot of it into her coffee. Then she pauses and holds the bottle out to me. I stare at it, surprised and speechless. "I don't have all day, Miller," she drawls. "Right," I say, taking the bottle. "Of course you don't." Dad scowls at this. "He doesn't need a drink," he says. "It's 9 in the morning.